Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we are talking about transitioning and we are living the transition from the standard American diet, which we lovingly now call the standard atrocious diet, not lovingly. And we are working toward carnivore through a ketogenic diet. We have found that doing carnivore feels much better for us and gets us better results. And we are here today to talk about staying on plan versus staying off plan and what causes us to eat in a healthy carnivore way and what causes us sometimes to not eat in a healthy carnivore way. And I have to say that I'm very, very happy that it's getting easier, I think, for me to accept eating carnivore, for me to enjoy eating carnivore, and for me to continue with carnivore. So Karen had a little slip up at a party, at a celebration, and we're going to have her talk for a few minutes about that.
So we celebrated my mother-in-law's 92nd birthday, which is a huge milestone, and we're very happy that we could all go out and have dinner. And we went to the Olive Garden, which is one of the things when I see those ads on TV, the Outback, the Olive Garden, I don't know, somebody else where they bring out the food, the sizzling platters and stuff, the gooey cheese. It just definitely stimulates my, brain cells, right? To go, oh, that food looks good. I look forward to the time when that does not happen and I don't even see it or it doesn't register in my brain. Because I can tell you, like hard alcohol advertisements don't do anything for me. Those don't register. I'm not a hard alcohol drinker. I drink beer. I don't drink wine, so I don't even know if they have wine commercials. I'm guessing they must. But at any rate, I ate salad and breadsticks and cheesecake and pasta. I didn't even have any meat. I ordered eggplant parmesan and lasagna. I think the lasagna may have a meat sauce in it. And that was definitely the wanting to please people, or maybe not please people, but, my sister-in-law said, what dessert should I order? Should I order the cheesecake? And I said, yes. So I felt like I should, if I told her she should order the cheesecake, instead of just saying, I don't care what dessert you order because I'm not going to have any, I said, yes. So, of course, I had a bite of the cheesecake, which is okay because I did not, it had strawberries on it. I'm not a huge strawberry fan. And she's like, you don't like strawberries? I'm like, no, not, I mean, I'll eat them, like in this case, but if you serve them to me, if you said this is the only thing I'm serving to you at your house, I will eat them, but it's not on the top of my list of things to have. I would much rather have chocolate sauce or caramel sauce or blueberries or peaches.
So you only ate a bite of it? You didn't get your own?
No, it was just the free one that they bring to the table, and it was Angie and my mother-in-law and I. So
See, that doesn't make sense to me because I kind of feel like if you're going to eat off plan, you might as well eat off plan. So if I was going to eat all that for dinner, I would have definitely probably ordered my own dessert.
well, you know what? That it's just, you know what? I got to tell you, the desserts really don't. That I did not need any dessert. I was so full with breadsticks. Honestly, I probably could have more easily eaten another breadstick than the dessert
How
because
many did you eat?
I think I ate one and a half. And I ate one slice of the eggplant parmesan and I ate probably half of the lasagna, which was not a very big piece because it was a a meal that had two slices of eggplant parmesan and a small slice of, I think if you just ordered a lasagna, you got a much bigger piece, but this was
Uh,
called the tour of Italy. And it is a lesson because, I ate off plan when I was at the toy show. I had some things that were off plan, but not to the level of all of those carbohydrates. That was probably more carbohydrates than I've eaten in the last week.
no, I would probably say the last like 2 months or
It
something.
could be. I mean, it was all there's so much in the bread. There's so much in. I didn't eat that much pasta, but the eggplant parmesan is breaded, I think, and it's eggplant. Um,
And the
but boy,
lasagna.
and I certainly, I mean, the slice of lasagna that I ate was probably like a 1.5 inch by 4 inch slice of lasagna.
Did you finish it?
No, I cut everything in pieces and brought most of it home to my brother. But it's interesting, Cami, because when I was eating the lasagna, now mind you, I don't remember if it was a meat sauce. It might not have been a meat sauce, just because this might have been one of their vegetarian. Those they might make those vegetarians, and then maybe they add meat sauce to it if you want meat sauce. I don't recall. But even their meat sauce is, a negligible amount of meat, so it's not like that's gonna, set off any of the carbohydrates that I ingested. All I could think of was our keto lasagna and how good our keto lasagna is compared to the lasagna that I was eating.
We haven't had that in so long.
And we can actually make that carnivore because we can change those noodles to the carnivore noodles. Just make it the egg and cream cheese or cottage cheese. When you put those together and you spread it really thin, you can use those as the lasagna noodles.
But why isn't it carnivore the way we normally make it? Because what does it have in it? It has egg and cheese, egg and Parmesan cheese and cream cheese, and a little bit of
Well, the
and
sauce,
mozzarella cheese.
yeah, it's mostly cheese, but I think that when you make that sauce, because
The
the
sauce
sauce
has a
has
lot of
tomatoes.
tomato in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, the stuff that you use to make the noodles should be fine. It's just that sauce that has all the tomatoes in it.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've made
It's
those
so
noodles.
good. It's so good. And you make it homemade. It's like making a homemade sauce. And
And so that was one of the reasons why it's like I didn't even feel like eating that much. The eggplant parmesan was enjoyable though, because I make that a lot for family members who are not meat eaters. My mother-in-law and my brother's girlfriend tend to not like, they don't eat a lot of meat. So I used to make Martha Stewart's eggplant parmesan, and it's good. It's the basis of the dish is eggplant, and then you bread it. But you can even bread it in a keto way, right? You don't have to. You can even bread it in a carnivore way if you wanted to use pork rinds.
yeah. So I want to know, what was going on in your mind before you ate that food? Like, did you think on the way there that maybe you were gonna not, that you were
Well, I
gonna
knew
eat
I was
carbs?
going to. When Angie said we're going to go to Olive Garden, I said okay, and I just, the what it
You
was,
just knew it was gonna happen.
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was
Okay.
like, you know what? I'd rather spend the time with Angie and my mother-in-law and have a good time celebrating as they would say, creating a fuss and being, I was already being different because actually the eggplant parmesan, it actually came with chicken parmesan, but I asked them to substitute the eggplant parmesan. And that was like, to me, a big ask or whatever. But everybody made some sort of substitution on their dish. But at any rate, I just thought going into it, it wasn't worth not eating because I had talked about fasting. And then I thought I can't fast because I'm going out to dinner.
Or you could have just drank iced tea and enjoyed the company.
Yeah, but you know what? My enjoyment of the company is not the same thing as their enjoyment of the company.
Who cares what they need?
I do.
So then it was kind of like a feeling of wanting to belong, like, going with it, like wanting to belong, like being a part of, like feeling connected, like enjoying
No,
it, like they're enjoying it.
I would have felt that anyway. I just don't. Some people have issues when other people do not look like they used to or do not show up the way they think people should show up. And my mother-in-law is one of those people,
So
right?
you didn't want to get her all upset about
Yeah,
not
she's 92 years
eating
old.
or
I can afford to eat a meal that's all carbohydrates so that my mother-in-law doesn't have to wonder what's wrong with Karen and is there something going on or why does she have to be different? What will everybody think? She is a big what will the neighbors think kind of person. So obviously if she thinks what the neighbors will think, she thinks things, right? So I mean, I don't know how long that memory lasts. She's probably forgotten that I was there last night by now, but you know, at the time, it's like, one day's not going to kill me. It will kill my gut because I will say, checking in, my stomach definitely had some, changes in it that it's not used to. So I'm hopeful that those changes will be resolved by the end of today.
yeah, you'll get back on track pretty quick, I think, because you're doing the deal for the most part. So I think the longer that you are in carnivore, the longer that you are in that, in ketosis or getting there, or the easier it is to get back on after you've
Right.
had a little off plan eating. So when did you find out it was Olive Garden? How long before you went?
Well, we went yesterday, so I think it was the day before yesterday.
Okay. So did you think a lot in between finding out that it was Olive Garden and going there and eating that food? Did you think a lot about what you were going to eat or enjoying it or looking forward to it or those kinds of things?
No. I mean, I've been to Olive Garden so many times in my life and watched those commercials. It's not like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have to dwell on anything like that. I live in the, present, and it's like, okay, Olive Garden is where it's at. I'll show up at the Olive Garden and see what happens.
yeah. I'm just asking these questions because for me, I would have been thinking for days about, as soon as I found out where it was going to go.
Well, it was
I
either
think,
that or pizza. She was going to have pizza, I think,
uh,
brought to the house. And that was one of the other things is I think Angie and I both wanted her to be out because my mother-in-law, she doesn't even leave her house. I don't even know if she walks to the mailbox anymore. And she has the use of her arms and her legs. And so it's a concern to us that she does not. Was there paranoia there? I don't know. But at any rate, this used to be. I even showed her a picture from my phone that was an 8 years ago picture of Tim and me and her at the Olive Garden because that's where we did 8 years ago. We did her birthday.
how fun,
She used to go there a lot with Tim after eye appointments and stuff like that.
fun, fun. All right, so off-plan eating can happen, and you just get right back on plan as best as you can, and you suffer through the consequences physically. I think you feel pretty lousy for a short period of time, but then you start to feel better. And I am pleased that, I'm getting more time on the carnivore diet. So I'm happy about that. And it's starting to feel like it's something that I can actually do. Whereas it was so daunting and so overwhelming initially. I still do things that are not on plan eating and working on staying on plan and being up to those things.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to us. We'll check in with you at a later date. Have a great day.
Keep coming back, subscribe and comment.
Bye.